As entertaining as this video may be, just beware that it is just for safety, to save you making mistakes at home. Be careful with your guns, and there is no substitute for safe handling of them. So in my short career in the gun world, I have seen broken stocks. However, as a percentage of guns that I have seen, it's a very small one. Not including cracks, two clean breaks in the entire time. And both of them have fairly interesting stories. So it got me thinking. So they're all worried about breaking stocks. How strong is a shotgun stock? So, for the sake of science, and for the sake of understanding, I have two guns here. One is a Webley 900, and one is an Armstand A612. This one's made of plastic. That one's made of Turkish walnut. And we're going to just put them through some basic tests to see what makes a shotgun stock break. So the most common thing, and we're just going to do common things here, nothing too crazy. The most common thing people say cracks their stocks is guns falling over. So, first test is just to push them over from a in gun rack, leant up against tree, leant up against fence, leant up against Land Rover. Test. Before I push them over, first thing, note of safety, please don't try this at home, and secondly, both these guns are tested unloaded. Both of these guns also are written off in ways that I can't describe to you. So, don't get angry. That was an anticlimax. Well, this didn't even mark this stock, and unsurprisingly, the synthetic plastical stock is pretty good too. So maybe when people say they knock their guns over and they crack, they mean this way around. Alright, I can't actually do this. Making me feel a bit weird. Inherently damaging guns is something just so us. So there you go. I'm going to call this after two more tests. Next test, 6 foot drop, slightly angled towards the butt just to get that pressure there. Three, two, one. All right, we have a development. Although it is minor, a very slight hairline crack is actually developing in this stock. And as such, I feel like this is the stock that is going to be the damaged one. So I have seen a broken synthetic stock before, and it happened at the same time the barrel was bent at 90 degrees. Driving on a quad bike, a young gamekeeper had driven into a tree. The barrel had bent like that, and the stock had, I don't even say snapped clean off, cracked a little bit. The barrel we replaced, the stock was taped up. And that's the beauty of synthetic stocks, which really is the whole point of this. I'm going to pull that synthetic gun out of the running, because short of doing irresponsible stuff to it, I'm not going to break it. So basic and real life tests over. I can't imagine anyone doing more than that, bar the driving into the quad bike into the tree situation. The two wooden stocks I've seen snapped both have interesting stories, both fairly similar. And they go like this. The chap woke up in the morning and found a fox outside his house, rummaging in his chicken pen. The man grabbed his shotgun out, ran out of his front door in his dressing gown. Boom, levelled on the fox and pulled the trigger. The fox was pretty unhappy about that. However, the fox was also not fully dead. His marksmanship may be the wrong load, who knows what the true story is here. However, instead of shooting it again because he didn't want to upset his wife, he removed the barrels and forend and took said gun and used it as a club. So it is obviously possible that this story is not entirely true, as many stories are not, because many of them are usually more embarrassing, like I dropped it, I drove over it, which is the usual. However, to see whether there's any truth in this story, this tree is now going to represent the fox, and this gun is now going to represent that man's gun. Club away. Well, the tree is coming off worse here. I'll turn it round. Tell you what, I call BS on this story to start with. maybe that fox was just ultra resilient. Part 1, part 2, and part 3. So now we see the beauty of a stock bolted gun. Even though it has fallen into 3 pieces with multiple large cracks, that big stop bolt that goes through the thick bit of wood here to the action here is still holding together. So, in a pinch, you should never shoot a gun like this. The chances of it actually hurting you or somebody else is fairly high. However, it is together, and short of literally beating the gun to death, the stock held up. That to me is a testament of how strong an over and under stock really is. That was getting hit very hard. That was being clubbed to death, this tree. And the gun, it came off worse. But that is what it takes to break a shotgun stock. Regular small things might ruin the structural integrity a little bit. But in reality, you'll probably be okay if you accidentally knock your gun over, apart from the minor aesthetic things. However, if you see a fox outside your house eating your chickens, use both barrels. Moral of the story. Be safe with your guns. Try and be careful with your guns. And in no circumstances, use your gun as a club. The end. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Take care, goodbye. And, well, I hope this has been of some scientific use to you to show that guns are usually a little bit harder than we give them credit for. Next, we'll use a bakel to knock in a fence post.